basically now, break all the lugs off, break them loose, and then start jacking up the car. Yep, they're all loose. Simple as that. We're almost ready to start doing the brakes. So now that we got the wheels off, basically I'm going to remove the caliper pin bolts. Actually, what I'll do on this one, I do caliper pin bolts first, then the caliper bracket bolts. It's very simple, so I'm going to do this off camera because it's going to be a little hard to film at the same time. But yeah, caliper pin bolts first, then do the bracket bolts. And on the Sonic, the bracket bolts are an 18mm, and the caliper pin bolts are a 10. Also, I'm doing the rear, so make sure your parking brake is off and that your other wheel is chalked so the car doesn't move. Put a block of wood or something behind it for safety. So yeah, let's get started. So I got my 10mm. I'm going to slide it over the caliper pin bolt. Obviously make sure that I'm loosening the bolts first, because that'd be a problem. Tightening instead of loosening is never a good thing. Okay. That was not that bad. And then get the bottom one. Wow. The back is a little not as accessible as the front. Okay, got those loose. Basically take those out. Actually, yeah, both of them. If you're just doing the pads, you can leave the top one in and actually just basically fold the caliper. I forgot that parking brake was set. Dang. Funny part is the parking brake's now off, so that would be a pain in the butt to remove. Oh, actually, you know what? Here, I can slide it out this way. Oh, yeah, that's true. Don't forget that this has the parking brake inside of it. So, the rear brake caliper is also the parking brake. So, don't forget that. Like I just did. I turned it off, but you really want to find a... There we go. That's actually perfect. You can see that. There's no tension on here. Actually, it's just sitting up. Honestly, this is fine. Because it's just sitting right there. Because I totally forgot that this line down here to it is actually part of the parking brake system, and this is your brake line. So it's perfectly fine because this is under any tension. So yeah, let's not worry too much about that. And next, let's just start taking apart the an 18mm is what takes off the bracket caliper bolt. And these things are a pain in the buttocks. You know what's funny? It's smaller for the back. So like I said earlier, this is actually still a 30 Torx bit that takes this screw out for the rotor. I'm going to leave it kind of in place because as you can tell, this rotor is not going to come off. The good thing, I'm replacing the rotor, so a few taps and it came off. I left the screw in there so it didn't fall off completely. But yeah, that's how you can get a stuck rotor off. I'm going to reuse that screw, but yeah, now clean everything up. What got stuck there is this rust on this hub, so just lightly take the scraper I have. So take the scraper, work your way around it, don't get the backing plate. But yeah, just work and clean all that rust up, get it all clean. Make sure your mating surface is flat and there's not a lip, and you'll be good to go. I know this isn't that much rust, obviously. I'm from Northern Virginia area, so we've got a lot of salt and sand. And as you can tell, you can see the salt up here and all that. But yeah, this is not as bad as somewhere like New York or anything like that, up north, the real north. So, let me go get the new rotor and everything, put that on. Okay, so now as you can tell, I got the caliper bracket back on. I got the pins lubed up and everything, so they're ready to go. So my next thing is basically I'm going to tighten down the bracket caliper bolt. That's what I want to do first. So very simple, just tighten them down. Start them up by hand and then tighten them down with this. And then go to the correct foot-pounds by your make and model, whatever it requires. I just want to get them tightened down, so I haven't torqued them yet. So I'm not going to leave them like this, just want to get them in. So there they are. I got the bracket all clean. Now what I want to show you is how to compress the caliper. So I got my tool, got this. So basically, you're gonna slide. However you can do this. This could be a weird way to try and do this on this one. But basically, I'm gonna need to back this up too. Because you're gonna want to fit. Let's see. Actually, so basically you want to back this up to the very, very, very beginning, obviously. Slide the caliper, slide the old brake pad onto the caliper, onto the piston basically. Get it set up. So now I'm going to be tightening it down. I have it in backwards, it doesn't really matter, it works both ways. So it's just a simple one piston caliper. So basically now that I have that in, as you can tell, just work the caliper, work the piston back in, and that's in. I did not really use the rear brakes yet at 30,000 miles. Basically now just slide this over top of the pads. Alright. Got everything put back together. Pads in. Pads basically just slide in. The caliper. You basically put a brake pad down, put your C-clamp, and compress that piston back in. It's very much common sense. Put everything, put the caliper pins back in. Basically reassembles like you took it apart. So, not too bad, not too hard. So, basically that's how you do it. It's a reversal of taking everything off and just putting it back on. Make sure you grease the pins. Make sure when you get back into the car, you pump the brakes so they're there. Check your brake fluid level. This would be a great time to flush the brakes, put new brake fluid in, stuff like that. Check to see at the beginning where your brake fluid level was at. Because if it was really high, then you might want to take a turkey baster and take some of it out so it doesn't overflow and go all over your engine bay. Jiffy Lube likes to top it off. That's why I don't like topping off your brake fluid. Because when you go to change the pads and you push the piston back in, the brake fluid that's where the brake fluid's going. The brake system is a closed system, so the fluid's not like disappearing. It's just going out with the piston. So once the piston is pushed back in, your brake fluid goes back in.